time we talked about mass spectrometer. And we said for a mass spectrometer, we want to have charged particles entering a region where there's a uniform magnetic field. But we said we wanted them to come in with a known charge, and you can do that by simply ionizing them. We also said you wanted to have them come in with a known speed. How do you do that? How do you take a beam of charged particles and make them all go at the same speed? You can't do it by accelerating them, because if I accelerate them through a known voltage, that gives them the same kinetic energy. That doesn't give them the same speed. We've seen that before. Here's what you do. You take the charged particle and you have it go through a region where I have an electric field and a magnetic field which are perpendicular to each other. So in this case, positive charged particle comes in, moving to the right, electric field is up, magnetic field is out of the board. What is the direction of the force on the charged particle due to the electric field? Which way? Up. Because the direction of the force due to the electric field is just in the direction of the field, so it's going to be up. How about the direction of the force due to the magnetic field? Velocity is this way. It's a positive charged particle. Magnetic field's out. What way? Velocity is there. Field is out. Direction of the force? Down. Velocity is this way. Magnetic field's out. Force is down. So what can you say about the direction of the force due to the electric field and the magnetic field? Opposite. So they're going to tend to cancel each other. So I can ask this question. For what velocity particle will there be no deflection? If there's no deflection, what can you say about the net force? Zero. Zero net force. Oh, so I know the electric force and the magnetic force are in opposite directions. If there's no net force, what can I say about their magnitudes? Equal. Equal magnitudes, opposite directions. Excellent. What is the magnitude of a force on a charged particle with charge Q in an electric field of magnitude E? Force is equal to Q times E. What's the force due to the magnetic field? Well, it's Q times V times B. So these two are going to be equal to each other. And so I can say Q times E is equal to Q times V times B. Here's what happens. Charge cancels, and I get an expression for the velocity. There will be no deflection only if the velocity is equal to E divided by B. And after that, there's no further deflection. There's no further deflection. And so I can use that for a velocity selector, and I can use this as a first stage in charged particles coming into a mass spectrometer. But that principle can be used for other things as well, and I want to look at this. Blood vessels carry blood, and blood is like water, but it's got like dissolved ions in it. Ions are charged particles. And so if I take a blood vessel and I stick a couple of magnets on it, there's a magnetic field across the blood vessel. Net result, there's going to be a force on the moving charged particles. So blood's moving this way, magnetic field is going down. Positive charges feel a force into the board, negative charges feel a force out of the board. What will happen is this, the charges will migrate. Positive charges go to one side of the blood vessel, negative charges go to the other side of the blood vessel until there's a separation of charges. Oh, and if I have a separation of charges, plus and minus, I produce an electric field. The electric field makes a force on the charges. And so they'll separate until there's an electric field that exactly balances the magnetic force. And in that result, then they'll continue undeflected. But I'm going to end up with a potential difference across the blood vessel. And what it'll depend upon is the speed of the charged particles. Oh, and the speed of the charged particles depends upon the speed of the blood. And so you can use the voltage across the blood vessel as a measurement of how fast the charged particles are moving and so how fast the blood is moving. This is described in some detail in the textbook, but this shows up in different places. They use it to measure stream flows. You get a little probe, goes into a stream, magnetic field, measure a potential difference across a certain region of stream flow. Here's like a magnetic flow meter, kind of like measuring the flow through a blood vessel that's in the heart. So you like that one of them's blocked, you grab on another one. You want to see if you have any blood going through it. Excellent. And you can use commercial versions of this to measure flow through pipes if you have things like oil going through a pipe. How can you tell how much fluid is flowing through it? One thing is you can open it up. That's problematic. And you can do it from the outside if you use this electromagnetic flow meter technology. So it's an important technology.